and welcome to Morning Moments. Thank you for joining us this morning. I am so glad that you took the time to join us, whatever platform you're on. And I have our special guest today is a recording artist. She's a singer, songwriter from Tennessee, the Knoxville, Tennessee area, in that area. And she'll tell you exactly where she's from, just about in Kentucky, I understand. I'm really glad to be able to have Mary Burke be part of Morning Moments. Thank you, Mary, for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, Mary, let me ask you the question I ask everybody. What do you do and why do you do it?
Well, what I do is I sing for the Lord, and we just travel. My husband is also a part of my ministry, and we travel and we sing and testify. Testifying is a huge part of our ministry, and just to let you know, just a lot of times in our lives, we don't realize just how much what happens and what we have to go through can affect others. And so we share what's happened in our lives in order to be a blessing, to somebody else and encourage somebody else along the way. So that's a huge part, and we just go wherever the Lord leads.
It's amazing when you go to churches and when you just like you share your testimony, it's and be real with people. Everyone thinks that the first person in the front that's singing has it all together and everything's great, but we all have troubles and trials, and it's nice to know that God's grace is sufficient no matter who you are.
Amen. That's right.
So,
Exactly.
so have you? How long have you been singing?
Well, I've been singing my whole life, but since I've been down in Tennessee, I've really felt, I guess, the call even more. So for 13 years, we've been doing a little bit more, a lot of recording, and I've done 3 CDs in 13 years, and then getting ready to do my fourth one. And then as far as traveling, probably the last 5 years, we've been really traveling, but we're still not traveling full time. We're just part time, and we just go, wherever the Lord leads. I mean, we'll go anywhere, but since COVID hit, we haven't really went too far.
Yeah.
But we did go to Michigan a couple weekends ago, so that was pretty good.
Good,
That's where
good.
we're from anyways.
Oh, well, I'm a Michigander myself, so
Well, there you go. Yeah.
here. Whereabouts in Michigan?
I'm from Monroe, so I'm about, oh gosh, 30 miles from, Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah,
Not too far. Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly where Monroe is there. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, good. There's the weekly grind or the weekend grind of going to packing up and loading up and then singing and then packing it back up and coming back home. And you talk about the reason why is to share Jesus. What would you say to people who are listening today that says, well, how could I, how could I know more about Christ? What would you say to them about if the Holy Spirit's tugging on their heart?
Well, I would say that if they really want to know more, they can open up the Bible, and that's a great way to find out more, about Christ. And you can also get involved in a local church, a Bible-based church, where they are reading out of the Bible, and just get around people that are, that are involved, and people that are Christians that could, because iron sharpens iron, and people are able to lead others, and we can be shepherds, and fishers of men, and we can lead people. And so get around people that you can learn from and grow, and let them, encourage you and strengthen you, and then start, your walk with the Lord. And I encourage them to do that because, once they do that and they receive the love of Christ, there is no greater love. There's no greater love. And I believe that that would be the best thing that they could do, the best decision they could make.
Yet, sometimes people don't even know where to start. They get the tugging, they get somebody mentioning Christ and
Yeah.
then not knowing what to do. And also that going and just having that opportunity when somebody gives an altar call to go forward.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right.
do you can you tell me what inspires you when you write your songs? Where does it come from? How do you get your do you write the words and the music? What is the process that you do?
Well, it's different times. In my 20s, it was a lot different. It was I like my first CD is all songs that I wrote. It's called Jesus Take My Hand. That song I wrote all of the songs and all 8 of them. Those were just songs the Lord just basically threw in, just placed in my lap, and well, I guess that, yeah, that's kind of how they happened. A few of them were quicker than others. A lot of them even I wrote on the assembly line because I worked at Ford Motor Company, and when I was on these, we had these breaks that we would get, because we did we were doing I worked at Brownstown PRC, and so we would get these little breaks and I would be able to write songs, so that's what I did. And then some of them just happened at home. The first song on the album called Jesus Take My Hand, which is the name of the album. It's the story of what happened to my husband, and the Lord gave that to me because of the because of what happened. And that sometimes can happen. A song could just be on your heart because of experience. And then other times, like on the album I'm working on right now, I have co-writers, Shane Roark and Autumn Isabel helped me write the song My Portion for Today, and that'll be on this new album that I'm getting ready to hopefully complete. I'm praying it can be done before the end of the year. And they helped me, and I came up with the idea, but really Shane is the one that really was able to write it. I mean, he's fabulous. He's an actual writer. I will say that I am more of I can write, but I'm not going to say I'm the best writer. I'm more of a singer, but I can write songs. But when you want something that's really radio ready, I'd say, for me anyways, I've done better with other writers. And so that song was just an idea, and I gave the idea away and told them, and they helped me sit down and write it you know
When I hear that from a lot of songwriters, the collaborative effort, and anymore, even in Nashville, it's hard to see somebody have one person write the song because of
yeah,
the world of collaboration. But isn't that the way it is with our Christian walk too? Is we just need people beside us. We hear
absolutely.
we hear one thing, but somebody else will bring something else to us,
Yeah,
and the collective effort is what's is the end product that comes out. It's much better than sometimes often the individual.
that's right. Yeah, I believe so. You get more of a, I guess with more than, like the Bible mentions, 2 or 3, when there's 2 or 3 gathered in his name, when there's 2 or 3 gathered in his name, whether it be praying or whether it be writing a song or anything, you've got some good stuff. I think you can really touch the Lord and touch the heavens that way.
And I don't think our walk with Christ was never intended to be a solo act. There is God always has community, and there's importance of having people come beside us and to be with us with our walk with Christ.
Absolutely. That's right.
Well, looking forward to hearing more about you. I'm going to put in our web in our column section or the comment section, either in Facebook or YouTube, your website and how people could get a hold of your music, how they could look to see if you're going to be in their area, or even how to get a hold of you for the conference or the event or the church they want you to sing at. And I'll have that information there. So check that out. Pass this interview on. But more important than any of that, I want you folks to, when you hear this, to take a moment and stop and pray for Mary Burke. Pray that
Thank you.
God would continue to bless her. She needs your prayers, and you need the practice, folks. So pray
Yeah.
that God would just continue to use her as she does work for you. Any closing thoughts that you have as we end this interview?
I would just want to thank you, of course, for allowing me to have this opportunity. And, I just hope to be a blessing. And if anybody is wanting me in their church, me or David together will come, and we will minister in song and testimony, and we will just love it. It's always a blessing. And when I go and I am there to encourage, believe me, I get encouraged just as much. And it just gives me, I guess it gives me hope, gives me, it keeps me going. That's what keeps me going.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Mary, and thank you for joining me for morning moments. And please, if you would, keep coming back, and may God richly bless you.